back to Landscaping to the Point. We are live. We are live. It is a couple days after the beginning of the month of July and the 4th. And JC just said earlier in the background that Josh was in his bathrobe. It kind of does look like that. So, I mean, he must have just rolled out of bed. He was saying that he was getting up earlier. So, I don't know. So, is it true? Are you in your bathrobe?
JC just wants to picture me naked. That's No, JC just wants to picture me naked.
Dude, all you need is like one of those. All you need is one of those hair towels, and you'll be all set.
Hair towel. Yeah, yes, you do. You need one of those hair towels. We'll have to send you one. We'll get someone to hook us up with one and send it to you, so that way you can.
Yeah, Cujo needs to make a hair towel.
Heck yeah. So it is now a couple days after. It's been a good start of the year, I hope, for both of you guys. It's been busy. Let's go on. What's new this week with everybody? Anything new, Josh?
I slept.
You slept.
Some sleep.
You had what? Did you take? Let's say ask this. Did everybody take the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th off?
I made smash burgers.
Kinda. Smash Bros.
Smash burgers.
Oh, okay. So we made.
They don't know what smash burgers are in Ohio, dude.
No, we don't.
They're burgers. You take this big metal plate and you put them on top of it. That's what a smash burger is. See, we know. I know what it is. My wife might not, but I do. There's this guy called Marky Mark that makes smash burgers. I heard.
No, what was Josh? What was the name of that place?
What place?
Wahlburgers. But he makes smash burgers. But he makes smash burgers, right?
I don't know.
They make smash burgers. They're not really smash burgers.
No? Dang it. So
they got the government cheese.
Government cheese? That was the good stuff back in the day, man. I love that. Going over to my grandma's and getting government cheese, dude. Get the big block and you cut it off and you can throw it on. You can throw it on the ceiling and it stick there for 6 months.
You know what the funniest thing is that everybody talks about the government cheese, but no one talks about the powdered milk.
That sucked, dude. Oh, that sucked. We always got tons of that.
Write in the comments if you've ever had powdered milk.
Yeah, let's see if everybody answers that one. That is interesting. So did you take Friday off? Any of you guys take off Friday?
No, but I actually the holiday was on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't take any days off, but I did do my yearly 4th of July tradition, which is kind of dumb. But I made smash burgers, and then I watched the movie The Sandlot. I always watch that on the 4th of July for some reason.
Why didn't you watch Independence Day afterwards?
Sandlot's more like a pop culture type of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's a good independence movie.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Supposed to watch Born on the 4th of July. Love it or leave it. Love it or leave it.
I've never seen that.
Really? It is a fucking horrible movie.
It's a horror movie?
Horrible movie.
Oh, it is a horror movie.
No.
Yeah. It is a horrible movie. It's one of those things.
What are some of your 4th of July? Did you set off any fireworks?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We got a bunch of stuff and we set them off. Had a fire, had steak and mushrooms and potatoes.
What kind of mushrooms?
Not those kind of mushrooms. Ones you eat. So
I mean, that's yeah.
Well, yeah, you eat either kind. Never mind.
We're starting off on the right foot on this podcast today.
Yes, we are. It's on the right foot today. But yeah, I mean, we had a couple fireworks. I mean, we were hoping that usually our neighbor next to us has a big fireworks display, and he didn't even have it at all yesterday or on the 4th. So it was kind of boring a little bit, but I mean, we had a good time. watching everybody else's. I mean, there's a lot around us that do it. So, what about you guys?
Didn't set off any fireworks. There was a few places around the city that had them. We have the AAA minor league team for the Red Sox here in our city, so they do fireworks. They did fireworks on the 4th, and then also Friday night did fireworks too. And then today, this weekend, my town is doing, or the town next to my town is doing fireworks. So I'm probably gonna go there and see that tonight.
Nice. I think Josh ran around with sparklers in his underwear, probably.
He does funny things with Roman candles.
Ever see Jackass, the original?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we grilled. We hung out at the house. We actually missed the fireworks just because I didn't look at the schedule. So,
Right.
but yeah, pretty low key. I didn't take Friday off. It was low key Friday though. Yesterday I took off. I did some house stuff. 4th of July, obviously, that was my day off. But pretty low key. You know, caught up on some, would say, much needed rest and some house duties. So
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think we only worked, 3.5 hours on Friday. So, I mean, we were kind of low key too. I mean, we didn't do much Friday and then took the rest of the days off. So, yeah. But I bought a brand new mower this week.
what'd you get?
I got an Aaron's Zenith. It's a commercial 61-inch mower.
What made you go with the errands?
We use Aaron's in Gravely all the time. So it was a good deal. One of my dealers had it, and they were trying to get rid of it, and it was $2,500 off of MSRP. So I had to jump on it and snag it. So, you know.
Is the guy from Ferris going to be happy with you?
Probably not, but he won't come up here and let me demo out a mower, so he can't cross Ohio line. So
Goddamn parole.
be on parole, yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean it's all right. I mean we like it. One of the main things is just the dealer support and then be able to get parts. I mean if they can't get parts really in a day or two, I can get them myself too. So that kind of helps out with us, if we have to get parts. So that was one of the reasons why. I mean, there's all kinds of different brands around here, but I mean, I've been loyal to Gravely for a long time. So I mean, that's Gravely and Aaron's I consider good mowers. I mean, plus you got to look at what you have in your area too. So
I have a dealer that used to be open down the street from my house, and now, Jensen, you might know what I'm talking about. Now there's a new dealer in there.
Oh, I know the guy.
Oh, really? I'll have to chat with you after. I know they're putting Gravely in there. I saw some Gravely. They just started loading that up, so I might take a ride by there next week if I have time.
Roddy's, right?
I don't know what the name of it is. Right on the main street there.
Yeah, it used to be Keola, and there was
exactly. Yeah.
It's gonna be irrelevant to those that are listening to us, but yeah, we'll talk about that later on. Guy has a business in West Boylston too, so he's just kind of opening up a second spot. But yeah, he's a good guy. I met him a few times.
Yeah, I drove by yesterday. I was like, oh shit, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking at possibly getting a hurricane setup. The cleanups in the fall, so I'm trying to gauge best bang for my buck. Whether I get a full on hurricane for $11,000 or if there's a cheaper option with similar power.
Yeah,
I know. Doesn't Toro have one? I know Toro has one, and I know Ferris has one too.
I know Ferris had one. I think Ferris is probably on the higher side of that.
Yeah, but they have two different size models. I know that.
Okay.
I know they have a smaller one and a bigger one.
I haven't looked too gay. That's good for you. We got a lot of gay comments in the comments. I'm gay, oil up, with the scooter.
Yeah.
It should be called Scooter. I don't get the joke behind that, but I like the name Scooter.
Oh yeah, it is a good name.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm in the market for potentially in the market for one. I'm not gonna say I'm full fledged in the market. I got snow stuff coming up, so money's going to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, snow should be one of your top priorities, especially with you with as much snow as you do. It's kind of hard to put a lot of money into, full leaf cleanup. But I mean, you picked up a lot of cleanups this year, haven't you, for this fall?
Yes, and a lot of that, the way the contracts are structured is kind of weird. More of the money will be made on year 2 with that than they will year 1. It would be nice. Like right now, we're just kind of getting them done to get them done. There's a lot of extras coming in. We'll have the walk around with the PM probably in a couple weeks for the additional extras. Right now, like we've more or less just been addressing all the emergency stuff and security stuff with them that comes up. So we had a lot of work approved over the holiday weekend, which is kind of cool. So probably tonight I'll sit there and I'll start putting that in the queue. And here's the other thing for anybody that's listening and pops on here that actually has something to do with the industry. CRMs, aside from Jobber. Now I know the majority's Jobber. LMN seems priced a little high. What else is out there? Because even Jobber, for what they are, I feel like they're high. It's $169 for that middle package. I get it. They played around with that a little bit. It's $369 for the one that I like. It's $499 for the LMN. But what about Service Titan, Service Autopilot, whatever else might be in there?
Well, there was another one that Yardbook, but Yardbook. If you haven't visited Yardbook in a long time, they've made a lot of like updates that are good. But again, it's basically on based on how big of your business is. I mean, if you're going to manage it yourself or you can have somebody else manage it. But I thought, Scott, didn't Toro have a service similar to Jobber?
Yes, it's called Horizon, I think it is, and it tracks your mowers too. All your
Toro, like the brand.
Yeah, Toro brand. Yeah, it's called Horizon, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
and I think it involves the CRM and like tracking of equipment and stuff. If I'm correct.
Yeah, I don't know what the price point of that is, but
I'm gonna look it up now.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. It's just I know Jobber. Yeah, Jobber keeps getting more expensive, and they're trying to do some things like to try to make it better. I think they're gonna get there. It's just I don't see
my problem with them is I did like Jobber.
Right.
They're getting more expensive, and I'm not seeing where the increase comes from, whether it's just inflation or any of this crap. I don't see where the difference comes from. LMN, same thing. LMN has a lot of different features. They're on the same. They're in the same realm as Jobber, but I think in a separate ballpark. But even with them, I don't see I've used them as a subcontractor with other companies that use LMN, and I don't know. I don't necessarily see the value there. I'm kind of Service Autopilot. I was looking at last night. Kind of seems interesting. I think they're more expensive than Jobber, but probably about $100 less a month than LMN. And it seems to be more features there. I think not 100%, but
right. But I mean that's still in play. I mean they're all getting to be about that same price point because they know that there's not many options out there anymore for CRM.
Absolutely, because you're kind of stuck. I mean, and they're doing it right. Now think about it. If you this is obviously a landscape lawn care snowplow channel. They're in a market where they're trying to keep the market in the certain areas where it's that $369 to that $500, and that's how they corner that. So you're only going to have that difference of about $100 of flexibility either way. Imagine if you did that in a fucking industry with mower, landscape, and mulching, and you kind of held tight. You do the same thing. You corner that market. So it is obviously. If you've never heard me talk, I'm cheap, and I hate spending money on that shit. I really do. I mean, I'm the type of person I'll use Candidly or Google Calendar if I have to, just because I hate spending money on that stuff. We don't have a lot of follow-ups because we're we have like maybe a handful of residential accounts. Everything's commercial, so it's not like we have to do those auto follow-ups or anything like that. But I don't know if you have a suggestion as to value and why. Chime in.
Well, you know my thoughts. But it's just there's so many out there. I think you need to try a lot of them out to see what suits your needs, really. Anymore. A lot of us people that Jobber have codes and can give you 3 months, and sometimes it takes you them a couple months to find out exactly all the specific, stuff that's in there and what you're looking for if you're not knowing what you're looking for.
Real quick. Toro has three options. They have an Essentials, which is just a basic platform, which is free. They have a premium. You guys can look this up later on your own. $99 a month, and their unlimited is $199 a month.
So you're pretty much at the same as like the middle grade for Jobber.
You're at the lower tier. Actually, that's probably the cheapest right now if you think about it. So their highest end, depending on what you get on that, is $199. Jobber, I think, is $369 for their higher tier.
Yeah, their higher tier has gone way up, and for what some of the stuff that they have on that higher tier, I don't see a point in having a lot of it. I think
the only thing of value is the auto follow up, and the auto follow up isn't worth that much. It's not worth an additional almost $230 or something. Yeah, $200 more.
Yeah, they were trying to sell me to go up because they said, well, you could use where we have a dedicated text line, the text. And I said, dude, people already know my number. They can just text me. Why would they need a separate text line to go to Jobber? What is that going to do for me? Like, so I have another line that they're going to have to text if they want stuff done. Like, they already text me myself. Like, that just defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, though. For a business that actually has multiple employees, there are some people that don't have any of these services and have people that they hire to do all this booking and book work for them. Like, even though it's $200, $300 for the premium, whatever, it's still I would think it's still worth it to subscribe to a service like that than to have a dedicated employee that you're paying solely on doing that each month.
Yeah.
But the dedicated employee is going to do more than just scheduling and follow-ups and that crap. There's going to be a lot more involved with just that one person, that one job. That one job would probably be a couple hours a week. And granted, you're right. It's cheaper than if you were to just hire someone to do that. But at the same time, I'm cheap, and I just don't want to spend that much money for something that literally can be done through Google Calendar. I can write my estimates. I already have a QuickBooks because that's my accountant goes through QuickBooks. So I can write my invoices. The actual receiving payments is faster on QuickBooks. I receive my payments if you pay with a credit card next day with QuickBooks with no extra fee. And we're not sponsored. Well, I'm not sponsored. This isn't a push. I'm just giving you my experience. I think Jobber was like 2 days, or you could have the.
That sucks for you. 2 days, like wow.
I think it was 2 days with Jobber for the credit card payout.
Mine is 20 minutes afterwards.
And what are you paying on that?
I'm paying. I got the middle tier is what I got. I have a Jobber credit card, so I have a separate bank account with Jobber.
That's why.
So literally, once they pay, I have within 20 minutes, I have that money available to be
so
either transferred to my regular bank account, or I can use it off the Jobber card.
See, I won't do that. I'm not going to sign up for a financial institution with the CRM. That's just not my.
Yeah, role, I know it's one of those things. Yeah, but I think it's easier for us because it's dedicated cards for our employees for certain things. For like gas and stuff where I don't have to run to go get gas for them. I don't have to run if they need a part for an irrigation job, or if they need grass seed, they can go ahead and do that. It's a little bit easier, and I can maintain on how much they're spending on each day and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky over at online on Instagram says go Lakers. So Josh, you know what to tell him. So.
I know exactly which Ricky that is.
You know, Ricky.
Where are the Lakers going?
I don't know. They're going away. They're moving.
You're 12 camp championships because we don't count Minneapolis or the bubble.
Right.
So why?
Yeah.
I thought he was a Mavericks fan.
I thought he was too, but he's saying go Lakers. So maybe he switched. Maybe he's moved from Texas up to LA.
No, he's just saying that because he knows like the Celtics and the Lakers are rivals. So that's what he's just
Ricky just likes switching teams. That's all.
Yeah, he's a switcher, Ricky.
He's just going against the rival.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think you like I said, you just got to look at every different CRM, Josh, and see what you want. I mean, you kind of know what you want, and I think what it is. So
we'll see. I'm going to play around with it. I'll let you guys know next week if I decide to do anything.
Okay, random question: regular birthday cake or ice cream cake?
Regular birthday cake.
Ice cream cake.
Cookie cake.
What's a cookie cake?
It's a cake made out of a cookie. You man, you got to come out to Ohio.
Was that like an Ohio thing? You guys?
I don't know. Like I know we have literally a store that makes cakes that are just cookies. They're just a whole big like.
So this is the extra large cookie.
Yeah, huge pizza cookie. Pretty much what it looks like with the and they
do
put
that
the
for birthdays.
Yeah. They put your birthday on it, like happy birthday. They put frosting around the outside. Dude, I'm gonna get one and take a picture for you and send it over to you.
All right.
Yeah, they're delicious, man. If you like
a chocolate chip cookie or something, or what?
They have chocolate chip. They have sugar cookie. They have whatever cookie you want, man.
All right. Here's another thing too. I know it's just kind of random, but like I had an interesting week. I tried a few different foods that I never really did before, but one of them was boba tea.
Boba tea, yeah.
Boba. I don't know.
Boba.
There's like
Boba Fett, yeah. He made some tea.
There's like these little like Jello balls that are in the tea, and then they give you this. All right, this is gonna sound bad. They give you this extra wide straw, and then when you drink it, balls go in your mouth.
Getting Ricky excited.
He is. He's laughing.
It was weird. When the you're I can't make this PG. I'm sorry. You start to swallow the balls like it's just.
Did you know that each one of those has liquid in them too?
Yeah, because the balls are chewy. I'm sorry, Jobber. I'm sorry, Cujo.
Yeah. Whoever sponsoring this today, we're sorry.
Cujo doesn't discriminate.
Oh no, but
have you guys ever had that before?
I have not. My kids have. My kids like that, but I don't. I'm not a tea fan. So I mean, I don't drink tea. So
I had like strawberry matcha.
Strawberry matcha, yeah.
Weird, yeah. I don't know. Sorry, it's a random thought.
No, here you go. Here's a random thought. Do you keep your peanut butter in the fridge or in the pantry?
Pantry.
It doesn't matter to me. I grew up where it was in the fridge.
Sometimes I will put it in the fridge because it does taste different, a little better in the fridge sometimes.
See?
It's harder to spread when it's in the fridge.
But then I think it's like Josh said. It tastes better. There's a little different taste to it. Yeah. It's more condensed, like because I feel like when it's in the pantry so much, it gets so oily. Like the oil separates, and then you're like, you got to mix it.
Well, the pantry, you got to put it upside down. If you put it upside down, it pushes it to the bottom, so it goes through, and then when you're ready, or you can spin it before you use it. Right?
You know what's good too is when you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you put it in the fridge and you eat it nice and cold on a hot summer day. That's the best.
Yeah. Cold
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Do you like regular peanut butter, or do you like crunchy peanut butter, or do you like mixed peanut butter? Like I like it's called white chocolate peanut butter, which is like white chocolate mixed in with peanut butter.
Never had it.
It's real good. See all this stuff that you're missing from Ohio. I'm gonna, when you come to the Quip, I'm gonna bring you all these things down so you can try every one of them.
I do like the crunchy peanut butter, but I also like almond butter.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Almond butter.
We have to. We're gonna have to culture ourselves a little bit, Jensen.
Yeah. You know what we'll do is
what's something that Boston has that Ohio doesn't have? Let's hear this.
OxyContin addictions.
We got those. Come on.
Meth clinics.
Suboxone clinics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of Dunkins.
Yeah, well, we got a Dunkin'. We got 2 Dunkins in our area. So, I mean,
I probably have about 5 around my house right now.
You just have 2 Dunkin' Donuts to kind of somewhat have some relevancy, but if you don't have one every corner, then
no, we got like Tim Hortons, we got Dunkin's, we got Starbucks every corner. There's like Starbucks in every grocery store around here and every corner. We got this new place that opened up called Scooter's Cafe, which is all coffee and iced coffee, but I've never been there. So it's like a little hole in the wall. It's like not even the size of the building's probably like 200 square feet. Like you barely put a machine in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we have we have Kelly's roast beef, PS Coffee, Mary Lou's Coffee. Out this way, was it Dippin' Donuts?
Dippin' Donuts.
Dippin' Donuts is a spot. I don't know. It was off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. What we have at the rest of the country. I guess I don't know what the fucking cornfields are.
The thing is, though, nowadays, like every town and city is trying to do the same that every other town and city.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting the same stuff now. Like we're getting a Circle K up here, one of my towns, and obviously Starbucks are all over the place. We have Cumbies. You guys, we have,
no.
It's our version of Wawa and
Cumberland Farms.
Yeah.
See, we have a lot of Circle K, Speedways. They're now opening up. What's the new one that's coming? Sheets. The Sheets brand is coming into our area. So
I heard they got good food over there.
I've had it before, going down to up down to Columbus and some other places, but yeah, it'll be interesting to have up here. So
hey, so next week I'm taking my nephew to WWE SmackDown.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You hear that? That's like going to be softcore porn now.
This is attention, everybody. This is not a G-rated show. Remember,
where'd you hear that? Because I might read.
They announced it where they're going to Netflix. It's going to be uncensored and more like racy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I should not bring them in.
You better go now before it goes to Netflix. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, my luck is he'll get into it and then he'll want to watch it on Netflix.
How old is he?
7.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to go to SmackDown with me on Friday?
Not the way you were describing Boba, no.
we could have Boba before we go. It'll be a hoot.
Aphrodisiac fucking before you go.
It'll be a hoot.
Okay. So what's your favorite barbecue food?
Brisket. Actually, no, pulled pork.
Pulled pork? With barbecue sauce or just rubbed?
Barbecue sauce.
Okay. Josh. He's thinking about it.
The pulled pork's up there, but it's got to be done right. Like, it's got to be done right. I love steak off the grill. Just
right.
Straight up steak off the grill if it's cooked right.
Certain kind of steak? Good too. Certain kind of steak or just
like a ribeye or a sirloin, nothing crazy.
Nothing
bone in ribeye.
Okay. I would say mine would be like a good chicken or like a steak. Yeah, I mean a nice fillet probably. Yeah,
pretty much, dude. I love like most of my meals. If I had the time when we got home, like it would be everything would be off the grill. I love the food off the grill more than the stovetop. It just tastes better. And if I really had time, charcoal. I love things off a charcoal grill more than a gas grill.
Okay. What do you have? You guys, I I'm more looking into the flat top grills. The
Yeah.
Oh, the griddles.
yeah.
That's how you make the smash burgers.
Yeah. See? Do you have one, Josh? JC?
I had a griddle, but not anymore. I have one for my stovetop from the range. But
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have one. I wanted one, but the thing is, my dad recently, a couple years ago, bought me a regular grill. So
Okay.
like, I can't justify buying the Axon one because I have a perfectly working
Right.
regular grill.
Right.
But
I mean,
you could buy like the griddle portion of it and then put it
Right.
on the grill and kind of do the same thing with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I mean, I've looked at both. I mean, I had an older grill, but my dad gave me his newer one, so I'm pretty much been using that this year. So just other things have come up, so I haven't bought a new grill. So
Yeah, they are good. My friend has one. We used it on his Memorial Day weekend party, and yeah, it's pretty. There's some prep work to it. You gotta break it in a certain way or something.
yeah, I heard you have to like oil it, and you got to clean it after every meal and re-oil it and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot involved in it, and that's where kind of like I'm like I don't know, because it's like it's nice to have because you can pretty much cook anything on it. But I mean, really, if you wanted to, you can cook anything on a grill too.
I love the traditional grills because like you get food on it. All you do is just burn it and then you scrape it off.
Right, right. So, do you cook everything on the grill, Josh?
if I had the time, absolutely. Like my wife bought me a few things, like a veggie holder, like the screen for the veggies and stuff. I got a pilot. I have to start shopping for a new grill. My grill's dated and kind of falling apart, but I have a pilot on the side, so I'll do boil the fried stuff on there if I had to. But as far as like my meats and stuff, I'd prefer my meats on the grill. It's healthy too.
Right.
A little bit of olive oil just to, so it doesn't stick as bad. But
do you like your steak well done or
like
medium?
Medium-ish, yeah.
JC?
Yeah,
Medium?
definitely medium. I used to get it done well done, and I realized that was a mistake.
Why was it a mistake? Let's hear this.
Well, for me, just because the steaks would be tough all the time, and
Right.
You kind of kill the flavor, I think. And then I accidentally got a medium steak, and it was like day and night difference to me. I'm like, wow, this is good, but I don't think I could do the whole rare stuff.
Yeah,
medium hits the spot.
Yeah, I think medium's the better out of the whole thing. I mean, my wife likes everything burnt, so I mean, I have to cook hers like on a separate side that burns it. And then when I cook it too long, she complains that it's dry, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? So
Steak, yeah,
steak is good. Yes. Okay.
Josh, are you you used to be, or are you still a vegan?
No, I haven't.
You dropped off the wagon?
Yeah, no, I stopped. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah, I went. I was vegan for probably 4 years, maybe, I think.
Okay.
And for anybody who doesn't know, so it was like no animal products or byproducts or anything like that. I was really bad at it. I didn't. Most people that do it will do it with like a whole foods diet, not the store, but meaning like more natural based foods. I just went after all like the processed junk foods and shit and soy based products, and it didn't really work out. And I didn't really hold good to the soy based products. Created a lot of bloat, a lot of like indigestion problems. So I went back to meat.
So how do you feel differently? Do you feel differently now that you're back on meat compared to when you were on the other way?
Less bloat. I'm more responsible. So before I went vegan, I dealt with a lot of still indigestion and chest issues, but it's because I was eating meat. Like I'd eat steak probably 4 times a week, chicken throughout the day. Like I didn't break it up. I was just meat. That's all I did. And I know like that works with some people, but I just wasn't healthy about it. I wasn't eating fruits or salads or anything like that. But the bloat has definitely cut back, yeah. But as far as not a huge difference,
Okay.
I miss my meat.
Yeah.
About it, but I'm a lot healthier. I've just been doing like higher in grocery stores like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods for my meat. But I'm probably gonna find a farm out here where I could go direct and probably get a little healthier.
Yeah, I mean, see, if you come to Ohio, there's a farm right next door that you can buy directly. So I mean, you can go outside. I can go outside and pick my own corn if I really want to. I mean, it's right next door. So. I think fresh meat from like a farm is a lot better for you and healthier than when you go to a regular store. I mean, even I think going to Trader Joe's is a lot different, and the Whole Foods is a lot different than like a normal grocery store. I think
There's still a lot of additives in the stuff.
Yeah.
Because I got to sit there for X amount of time. Whereas like, you go down to the butcher or a farm.
Right.
You're getting it right there. And we did it when we lived in the suburbs before we moved here. There was a butcher a couple towns over with the open range farm, and the meat tastes completely different. It just tastes healthier, And that's usually when you eat like that, you can tell the difference when there's no additives or nothing in there. Because again, they put the additives in there because it's got to be shelf worthy for 10, 12 hours, depending what type of store you go to. Some stores are throwing them in the fridge and putting them back out the next day.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, I actually took literally half a mile down the road. There's a butcher that literally you bring in your whole whatever it is. So I had a buddy that he wanted me to take his sheep there, and I took his sheep there and his lambs there, and it was like you took them in the back of the thing, and there's all these cages. You put the animals in the cage, and they'll butcher them in 24 hours for you. So it's like it's a lot different. And a lot healthier too. So
Scott the executioner.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, my buddy was like, "Hey, you need to take this there," and it was a funny story because I was like, "Okay," and I took him there in my trailer, and
Did you say bye to it?
What?
Did you say bye to them?
No, I thought I went to the place, and it was the first time I went there, but I was close to my house, and he's like, "Well, it's close to yours," and I get there, and I'm like, I go in, and I'm like, "Okay, I got these animals here for my buddy," and give them the name, and they're like, okay, just go around back, open up the door, put them in one of the cages, and we'll get to them. And I'm like, what? You guys don't unload them? He's like, no, you got to do it. And I'm like, really? Like, I got to unload the animals and put them in there? And I'm like, really? This is
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that shit, dude. I'll get attached. Those will be pets within 20 minutes.
So I went in there, but the only one that was open. All the rest had animals in them except for one cage, and it was right next to this bowl. And I'm like, really? They got this big old bull cow in there, and I got to put these animals next to this thing? What if this thing goes through this fence? It doesn't look that good of a fence. And
dude, that's crazy. They made you do the final walk with these animals.
Yeah, they did. And it was
what was your conversation with them? Hey, it'll be all
Johnny
right.
Cash playing in the background.
Two of them went in easily. I opened the door and they walked over to the cage. The other two were kind of no, we're not going in there. And I'm having to drag them by the collar, come on, get in here.
The first two were just gave up on life. They were depressed.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not fun. It was not something that you expect.
Yeah.
But talking to him afterwards, he's like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. You just got to just push them in there sometimes and, corral them in there. And I'm like, dude,
dude, they know, man. They know what's going on.
Yeah. He had us up to his house one time, and he had hogs, and literally he had somebody cook them right there, slaughter them, and cook them. And literally the one just took off running, dude. And it was just the funniest thing watching him ride around on his four-wheeler trying to catch him, get close to him, and then jump off trying to jump on this hog, and this hog would just book it, dude. It took him 45 minutes just to get this hog just to cook it.
See, that's one thing that I haven't got back into is since I've been back with me to swine.
Swine, yeah.
I'm not big on pork.
That's the first thing you go to after being a vegan.
Should have, yeah.
Oh, I went right to the steak.
Steak, yeah. Well, I mean, if you love steak, that's why not?
I think that was part of the problem too. Is I was before. I'm dude, when I say meat, my diet was fucking meat.
Meat for dinner, meat for breakfast.
It was lunch. Sausage, bacon for breakfast, chicken for fucking lunch, and then steak for a T-bone for fucking dinner.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat, dude. I can see why, dude. Yeah.
I'd be sitting there and in the middle of the day, I go, thought I was dying.
Right.
Oh my god.
Surprised you didn't have meat sweats and all day.
Sure, I did. I probably smelled like ass too. Probably smelled like a fucking 50-year-old, 400-pound guinea. Fucking gobble.
Yeah. Oh,
Compounded protein.
yeah. All that protein. Yeah. Oh man, you probably plugged the toilet many a times. I'll tell you that much.
Still do.
Well,
Those vegan fats on fucking, those are lethal. I'll tell you that. Those things are fucking gross, dude. Jesus Christ. I put myself out sometimes.
oh. Okay, so here's a question. You did 30-day hard. So now you're on what, 180 days soft? Is that
I'm on 180 days off. That's what I'm at. Fucking, no, I'm going to I'm jumping back on the train. I'm past my I had a pretty stressful 2 months, and not that that's an excuse, but I had a lot that and I know that's part of the program. It's kind of a mental toughness thing more than a physical, even though it is a physical element. I had a very stressful few months. Work was not busy out the gate like it has been. This is probably the slowest year that I had to start. The bills were still coming in. Personal bills were coming in. I made a lot of financial moves throughout the winter for the snow side that may have not been the best decisions. So I made some bad financial decisions with equipment over the winter that I probably could have waited for. I mean, no, I'll recoup in the next couple of years with that. That's fine. So it's very stressful. So, trying to do that and then, do something for myself wasn't really working. It was putting the business first. I'm kind of grounded now where I'm starting to peak back above water with everything, where I want to start kind of getting into a routine and getting back on that and being able to apply myself. But that's what happens when I get into that craziness. My focus is on what's in front of me. Get right back. It's just like my body's telling me focus on the business, get things back afloat, focus, fuck everything else. See you later.
Right. Okay, so now that we're in the second half, you got a good prediction on what the second half's going to be like?
No, I got to be honest with you, man. Like, I'm on all the Facebook groups we're talking about work, right? Second half.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are saying they're busy, right? And a lot of guys that might be busy because they're new. A lot of guys might be busy because they have that niche. We had that niche with the hardscape.
Right.
We've sold shit for hardscape this year. Obviously, we've turned back into like a commercial maintenance company, a snow company, which is fine.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people aren't spending the money. One, because they don't have it. Two, because they're traveling.
Right.
You're an election year where this does not look like a promising election, not to be political or anything, but you got two fucking morons running for office. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like this economy. This economy is a result of both candidates, both being past presidents. So it's one on the all. You know what I mean? In Trump's logic, this is his economy where a lot of it's Biden's too. You got two wars going on that are taking a lot. We're not putting money here. I think people are nervous about spending big money on these projects for the home, not knowing which way things are going to go. Dude, groceries sky high, electric bill sky high, home and personal auto insurance have gone up at least 20%. I'm not seeing the residential side the way it has been. Granted, the past few years were a result of COVID, of people not being able to do anything. I think this is worse than pre-COVID. I think once we get past the election, there might be a little bit more to play with, but I'm going to go hard. Take what we have, go after these commercial contracts, try to get as much as we can. I'm not bending all my numbers. I'm not giving work away. I've lost a lot of stuff because I won't drop down. And right now we're in July, so this is kind of like snow prep for me now, where I need to start getting some of my proposals back in. I need to see who has what. I need to talk to my subs. I need to finalize numbers. I have to start getting equipment purchased. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I think you're right like that. I mean, yeah, there was a point at the beginning of the year. I think everybody was spending more. And now I see a lot more people backing off on stuff, on the bigger projects. Um, even spending a lot. I've had a couple people that are kind of like, well, just hold off on this mowing, hold off on this. And I think it's just because now, like you said, everything's gone up. It was like one of my customers said the other day to me, we're doing a big job for her, but literally it didn't take long for us to do because there was a bunch of us there. But she was just like, she's like, I don't know how you do it. She's like, I can, she goes, it's for what I'm paying you for this. She goes, yeah, you guys do an awesome work. And I know that it's tedious work and heavy work. And she goes, it's hard just to get groceries during the week, like groceries are like $200-300 a week, for groceries. And she goes, I don't know how you guys survive off of, what I'm paying you. She's like, you should be probably charging more and triple. And I'm like, I'm at where my numbers are at. I'm not trying to go below what I'm supposed to be at. I'm not trying to go gouge you, but some people are just like, yeah, they don't want to spend the money right now. And it's one of those things. Well, will it change? Probably, but we have to see what goes on with the election and everything too.
It's across the board too. It's not just in the lawn and the landscape industry. I got guys that are in all different areas of trades, and again, there are guys that are busy, and there's a lot of guys that are just kind of coasting through and taking what they can get. Some guys are enjoying it because they've been busy since COVID, and they're enjoying the break. Other people, they've taken on a lot of debt with stuff, and now they're trying to figure out how to pay for it, which is, don't go crazy losing your shirt trying to pay your bills. Yeah, but things will rebound. It's not all election. I think, again, a lot of people are traveling a little bit more because there's no restrictions when you travel now anywhere. You still have you still have restrictions on certain countries and areas or in the airlines that you went to last year. Whereas, I don't know, this might be the new normal too. It might be back to where we're at. The cost of living's fucking astronomical right now.
Right. Do you feel like it'll totally change, let's say next year? Or do you
totally
think,
no.
Do you think the prices will stay where they're at and go, or even go higher?
I don't see the we got in a lot of trouble with the amount of money that was given away during COVID. And I fully believe, and I said this before, this falls on the back of small business, not the poor, not the rich, but middle-class small businesses are paying the ass into this. In Massachusetts, and I'm sure probably throughout the nation, they have what's called the COVID Relief Fund. The COVID Relief Fund, at least in Massachusetts, is implemented and put into place till at least the year 2032. And it's basically meant to try to get that money that was given back and, PPP and all that stuff. The money's not free. It's coming from somewhere. I want to say on like every $1,000, let's call like every $1,000 of payroll, it's something like $250 goes to COVID Relief Fund. Now think of like local grocery stores, like a Market Basket, or out there maybe like a Stop and Shop, a Star Market. That's millions of dollars per year in salary. How much of that is going to that COVID relief fund? And they're going to pass that on to the consumer. That's the reason Trump will boost the economy. I don't think so, man. You are, and I'm not trying to get political. I'm not a Trump supporter and I'm not a Biden supporter. What I'm saying is that there's got to be another way that you have to do it without relying on politicians to save your ass, because the two politicians you have in office right now are the reason you are in the position you are in. I don't care what you say. Go back and go by both of their logics. This is both of their economies. You're if single guy, maybe you can make it work, but if you're a divorcee, single dad, family of 2, family of 4, it starts getting heavy.
Right.
I got college tuition to look forward to. I don't see, with all that money that was given away and everything else, I don't see, you're giving money to other countries for wars that we have no business being in, and we have issues going on here where people can't put fucking food on their table. It drives me nuts. So and I think the last thing people are worried about is, should I spend $20,000 on the walkway or the patio I want to put outside of my new lawn? Again, I do think the maintenance side of it was always foolproof. I wasn't in business in 2008, But I know a lot of the guys that were in business in 2008 were saying that if they had a split company, meaning they had hardscape and landscape and then lawn care, the one side that actually sustained business was lawn care because people still needed to go to work. They may have to work extra hours, so they had to have their lawn cut. So where there's a will, there's a way, but we got to find a way to do it on our own. I think collectively as a division of lawn care and landscape owners, I think everybody in your areas need to hold hard on their price. Don't start dropping it. It took a fucking global pandemic for people for business owners to go up on prices where they should have been after 20 years. And now it's going to go right back to where it was because guys are scared. Hold your ground.
I think you should hold your ground. And I think a lot of us should know our numbers. I mean, there's a lot of companies I've seen that are starting to pop up this year that are literally, there was one in one of our neighborhoods, and I know they didn't get any customers because it's really a high-end customer neighborhood, and they went around trying to cut every yard for $20, and nobody took their service. But it was like, we're all cutting yards for $60, $75 a yard in this neighborhood, and it's like we're putting in our time in it. And I think a lot of the customers are looking at more of the companies that are actually out there and they've been in business that actually show up on a weekly basis. A lot of these companies that are lower priced are doing them for that price. Yeah, that's a good thing, but they don't know their total prices and they don't know their top end, their bottom end, what they need to do. And I think that's where it's going to hurt some people in the long end come next year. Josh, I got a question for you. So you're doing these commercials. If you had these commercials and you only got one crew, correct, mowing all these commercials for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have one crew mowing them, let's say you're out there doing weeding or whatever extra, the mulching and all that stuff. Do you continuously mow them weekly, or do you do them like whenever you think they need to be cut?
We'll show up to them weekly. They don't necessarily need it weekly, but there's always something to do, whether it's weeding, cleaning up an edge on a bed, picking up some litter. It's July. So what happens is a lot of times the curb lines, meaning the parking lot pavement to the curb, you'll get all the weeds in between. So it's involved of, going around, weed whacking that, spraying that. There's always something to do. So you definitely show up every week. Okay. And some of your contracts you have to mow regardless. And some of them are irrigated and they stay growing. A lot of them are burnt out. So we're just going to make sure that they still look manicured and tight. It's crazy. The weeds are growing like wildfire this year. We did one a couple weeks ago. We spent 4.5 hours there weeding, and I got a call from the property manager that the place looked like shit. And I couldn't disagree with him because those curb lines, they shot up like crazy. It was nuts.
Dude, that's crazy. And I agree with you 100% on that, because I don't think customers understand that. It shouldn't be that you mow the lawn when it needs to get mowed when it's overgrown. You should mow the lawn and keep it consistent every week.
Correct.
It's like Josh said, maintaining that manicured lawn, because you're keeping it at that same standard. And even if it doesn't need much of a clipping, you're still kind of cleaning it up. It's like keeping a fresh haircut all the time. Like, you don't wait till you grow out your hair completely and then go back and get a freaking high and tight and then wait till that grows out again. If you want your property looking good, you have to stay on top of it. So and what he's talking about as far as the weeds, you get the heat closer to the sidewalk on the edges, obviously, and then that's what you're going to get your weed growth closer on those areas where you need to edge. And I don't think a lot of customers or people understand that. Business people, we do, because we know to keep it that sense, but customers don't understand that. Why do you have to come every week? Why can't you come every other week? Well, because when we come every other week, it's going to look like shit for a little while before we get to it.
Right. I think it's you got to maintain it, like you said. Do you spray the edges for Roundup, Josh?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Spread the bed. Depending on the contract, like all inclusive ones, we try to spray whenever we can just to stay on top of it. And then we have ones where we have to bid them or ask for permission and put a price on them. But for the most part, I carry a backpack pump sprayer.
Right.
And we spray them.
I think that's the best way, is especially if their customers are going to pay for it. I see so many commercial accounts over in here in our area that they're trying to be cheap on the companies and cheap on the, maintenance. And it's like you drive by them and you look at them compared to some of the ones that other companies that I know maintain, and you're like, wow, like it just doesn't look good on you for business wise, really, if if it's not maintained right.
Yeah, I want to highlight one of the comments that I see here. It's Edward Mismas. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He says, "I pay $50 for a small lawn bi-weekly." And one problem that a lot of people or a lot of customers think, it's like, oh, my lawn is small, so it shouldn't be that much. And maybe it's the case for his. Maybe his is priced correctly. I don't know.
Right.
But it's not just about the size of the lawn. It's about the difficulty it takes to mow that lawn and the time it takes to mow that lawn. Like you might have an open square lawn that's easy and, a couple past trims and stuff. Or you may have a hilly lawn with a bunch of trees in between that you have to mow around, and, certain access points and just like uneven terrain and, flower mulch beds everywhere, and just kind of, so it doesn't just go by the size of the lawn. It goes by how difficult it is, or how much time it takes to consume. So
that's crazy though. 50 bucks. So that's 25. I mean, again,
that's low.
There's nothing that costs that, no matter where you are in the country, unless you're in the fucking mountains of West Virginia. But that's what I mean. So that's contributing to a fucking poor economy right there. Whereas like you can't expect like a guy that's charging roughly 25 bucks a week. Like, how are you running your business off that? Because at a minimum, to drive there and cut the lawn, even on a postage stamp, you're talking 30 minutes.
Right. I mean, that means that the guy's minimum is 25.
Yeah.
So, even if he's doing each week for 25, I mean, I don't think that's worth it, really. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why we don't do bi-weekly anymore.
Yeah. Justin Michael wrote, you got to drive there. Yep. You got rent to pay. Yep. It's far from any other jobs in the middle of nowhere. Yep. Etc. Many different factors. Yeah. And
the grass is going to be always taller than everybody else's. I mean, the ones that you maintain on a weekly basis are going to be easy to fly through on, say this time of year, but you might show up to that one, and that one, might be irrigated and be like way higher than normal, and you're spending double the time because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then you get into a case where one neighbor, you charge a different price for the other, and they talk and they complain. And it's like, well, you got to explain those things when you price out the situation, because there might be a difference in price. But I didn't want to say it, but $50 for bi-weekly, I was thinking that was kind of low.
You got to steal. Yeah. I mean, I take it, but again, like nothing costs that low. Like nothing costs that amount of money. Like $25 for manual labor, like that's insane.
Think about the gas. I mean, even if it's a small yard, and gas wise, if you're driving plus the gas and the mower, you're probably putting at least $20 in gas.
But that's the stuff that hurts. So, like you said, that guy talks to his neighbor, and you kind of set the market value for that area when you start doing that, because now a new guy that's coming in is going to ask around, what are you paying for your lawn? Well, I'm paying $50 a week, maybe $75 bi-weekly, which I still think is low. You're doing twice the work on a bi-weekly. I don't do bi-weekly. It's not something I offer. I walk away from it.
Right.
You set market values for your area when you do that, because other people will start chasing that number to get customers. So why not set it higher? I get different sections of the country are going to be different economies. Like the dollar goes a little further some places, or it's minimum wage.
I don't think that dollar goes further anywhere in the country anymore.
Honestly, I mean something you're doing in Boston or like big market, like metro markets, are going to be different than like Oklahoma or West Virginia, not even Utah anymore. I don't think, but it's like, I don't know. That's cheap.
I'm curious too. Are they just mulching? Are they bagging?
Yeah, it would be very interesting. Edward, if you're listening still, let us know what state you're in. I'm very interested.
I think Edward's like Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky.
Yeah, but even think about that. I mean, Nick, is down there from P&H, and I know he charges a lot more than $25 a week for a cut. I mean, that's even on his small ones. If you think about it,
in Ohio, what's starting rate for a landscape guy? Like, what's just like a guy that comes in with no experience? What do you
Guys,
pay?
no experience in our area is like $12 an hour.
Okay.
Minimum.
So,
I mean, just if you went with the regular Ohio minimum right now, it's 10-10 or 10-11 or something like that. So, I mean, per hour. So, I mean, we're starting people out at $12-13 an hour to start out. I mean, and I know companies around here that are paying their guys $25-30 to cut a yard. So if you're talking, let's say $30 an hour and you got 2 guys out there, that's $60. There's no way you're making any money on that.
and then your average grass cutter is making probably $20 an hour.
Right.
Average. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Even to be working by yourself, that's crazy. You may as well go work for a company and not have to fucking chase the work.
Right.
Like you're better off just going and cutting grass for a company.
It's just I think biweekly there's some benefits to biweekly. Some people say there's benefits to biweekly. Some say there isn't, and I agree that there. It just depends. It depends on what you're putting the price on, and don't undersell yourself. Really, don't undersell yourself. Really, I mean, if you're going to do a biweekly, do it for double of what a normal cut is, if not even even more, because literally you don't know when you actually show up there. Like JC said, if you're saying $25 a week, and the neighbor next door is like, oh well, it's 25. Well, I want it weekly for 25. So now you're cutting 2 yards for 25, but that one next door might be double the size. So you're now trying to cut one that's 25 that should be like 50, and one that's 25 on biweekly. So you're spending more time there for what, $50 a week? Not worth it. You gotta really know the numbers, and I think nobody in the country really should be cutting the grass for 20, 25, 30, even $40 a yard. I mean, there should be nobody out there right now. And that's where that's where it hurts our economy if you're down low price wise. And that's how I feel, is like it hurts us as a regular business that's been in business for years when you get somebody in that's new that doesn't know the whole thing, and it's like, oh, I'll cut yours for 20, and you've been cutting that yard for 10 years and it's $60, $70. And the homeowner's like, well, oh shit, I can save, $40 a week by having this kid do it for $20.
Let me give listeners a tip real quick to cut you off. Sorry,
you're fine.
When you put together these prices, look at what you're making and consider this after owner's salary. A lot of people, when they cut grass, they figure what they'll do is they'll pay their bills, and what's left over is what they make, right? So you're almost treating yourself like an S corp where you're taking the profits of the company, but include a salary for yourself. So take whatever it costs you to live for that month. And even if you have zero overhead, you run out of your garage, your backyard, whatever, take what it costs you to live for that month personally, your groceries, your car insurance, your rent, your phone bill, add that up. And that at a minimum is what you need for your salary. Add that salary in to see how many cuts. And then that kind of gives you a roundabout of what you need to make. You always want to look at the profit of that cut or that week after owner's salary, meaning after everything's been paid, including yourself. So if you're paying yourself $300 to $500 a month, which I mean, a fucking single guy, I don't even know could fucking. I mean, you'd be scraping the bottom of the barrel to do that right now. It's doable. But that's where you should be to see what you're profitable. And then your company should still be making at least, let's say, 8% profit off that after you're paid and everything else is paid and your help is paid. You want to see at least 8% in there. And I know that sounds low, but that's after everything. And that's at a bottom profit percentile. Right. So after owner salary is something you should always be telling yourself when you're doing your reconciliation of your numbers.
Yeah, well, Edward's not going to complain because he's the customer.
Yeah. Well, no, and I get that he's getting a deal, but again, if you're saying some particular person's going to help boost the economy, you're not helping with it when you're getting something a dime a dozen. And no matter where you are in the country, even in that poor little pocket of the country, it's fucking insane. Nothing is that cheap, and it's not going to change. The problem is the price of stuff isn't going to drop drastically one night or over time. Like, you can't influx money into the economy. We did that and we're paying for it. There needs to be a way where, like, the cost of living is going to change. Things are going to go up, but the wage has got to go up.
It's funny, man. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not the minimum wage that makes a fucking difference. It's the payable wage of what you're paying fucking people. You know, obviously, like your minimum wage in Ohio is $10. We're what, 15.50 up here or something like that. $15 an hour. You can't live off that in Massachusetts, even in the western part of the state.
Nobody can live in any of these states off a minimum wage.
Yeah, so it's based off what the companies are paying, but you have to be able to bill for a fucking profit. Billing $25 a long cut, no matter who you are, unless you're a fucking 15-year-old kid, is not billing for profit.
Right.
So if you can't afford the services, don't fucking ask for them. It's not a necessity. We're not fucking plumbers, electricians. It's a fucking.
You just took the words right out of my mouth, man.
Yeah,
I was just gonna. That's what I was holding off on saying. Is like, if you're gonna be a landscaper, have the mindset of a plumber. They go in with a minimum.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. You definitely should have a minimum. Everybody should have a minimum. So we're going to cut it today. So that was a very good information. Josh, thank you for all that great information. JC, thank you for all that great information. Just remember, listen back to this. If you guys are listening, or, you haven't listened to us before, definitely listen to us now. We have some great episodes, a lot of great information that we've all put out there, and, there's a lot to learn still. And I think that we can all, learn a lot and keep listening. So keep listening to us on Spotify, anywhere else that you're listening to us. Watch us on YouTube here and Instagram. Thank you guys for listening. Go check out Cujo if you need a pair of shoes. Thanks for Cujo for sponsoring us. And if you got any questions, hit us up, DM us, Landscaping to the Point or Landscapes by Acme, or you can hit either Josh or JC up at their great places too. So thank you guys for all being on, and have a great week.